何？お前はもう死んでいる。
Sentry mode activated. Target acquired.
Hey there hunters, I haven't talked about much about Remnant in a while, so I figured I'd do a quick video update on what's going on with this gem of a game. So Remnant had received some official updates in the past few months, notably a next gen update for PS5 and Xbox, and then during the same patch they also fixed a bunch of bugs that needed to get done that I'm really glad they did fix. The first being the interaction between Swarm and Beam Rifle. If you've played Remnant, you might know that the Beam Rifle puts an invisible debuff on an enemy which scales damage received, which is how the Beam Rifle scales its damage. Well, you could also throw out a Swarm and then hold the Beam Rifle on the boss and then also scale Swarm's damage as well, and which would do gross amount of damage as super OP. That's fixed, so yay. The other fix is that all the survival account bound gear that was added with the Subject 2923 DLC got bugged and was largely inaccessible. This includes items such as White Rose, Ring of Flawless Beauty, and the Black Cat Band. Those items should now be working and be able to be collected if you do their appropriate challenge in survival mode. So if you're missing those items before or want to go check out the game on next-gen consoles, probably a good reason to get back in, I'd say. The other big thing in Remnant news, and the reason why I'm making this vid, is that mods are being worked on for this game, finally, because I fucking love mods. Not sure why there haven't been mods for this game before, other than it's on Unreal Engine. Anyway though, I'm currently playing a mod called Arisen from the Ashes by Gladius9. Gladius? Which is a slight combat tweak mod which can be found on the Nexus. What this mod does is increase player action speed, like running and rolling and reloading, by about 35% and gives you a small amount of HP regen. This makes the game feel much faster and more like an arcade shooter rather than like a slow Souls-like game like it is now. But in exchange for this, you recover stamina a lot slower, enemy projectiles are a lot faster, and there are 2 to 3 times more enemies, which also do more damage, but enemies have less HP as well. This applies to elite enemies too, so there can be like 3 root brutes chasing you down or an entire tribe of brewery chargers. Like, there's some really scary situations you can be in. Now with all these changes, enemy swarms you really fast, and you can't just spam rolls and sprint because you will definitely run out of stamina and get caught not being able to move. AoE becomes far more important than ever before, and it's actually a pretty nice change of pace for the game. It does work in survival too, which is scary as hell when you're running around with your boxers trying to get away from 30 root hollows. It can get really hectic really fast, and especially on survival when you're running with next to no gear and have no stamina. It's a pretty unique experience, to be honest, and I found that I was enjoying it quite a bit. So there are other few changes with this mod, like increased ammo for normal guns to help you combat the new horde of enemies, and making sniper rifles super OP by giving it double reload speed, which is whatever because I don't use sniper anyway. But my only really complaint with this mod is that since it does lower enemy HP to make up for like these huge swarms of enemies there are, this gets applied to boss fights as well. So if you didn't like boss fights before that spawn a lot of ads, well now they get like 2 to 3 times the amount of ads. So yeah, have fun with that one. Someone like Gorefist, who would always summon 4 of the exploders, gets like 10 now. So yeah, that's just a nightmare. Ixalis will get a bajillion wisps, and Claviger will summon like 10 Akari. Really scary stuff. But since bosses get more ads, they also have less HP, which kind of feels weird to me, to be honest. Like, a boss will die super fast now, and bosses that don't have very many ads, like Unclean One, Barb Terror, Singe, Ikoro, and stuff like that, kind of drop like flies, and it kind of feels unrewarding. So there are a few bosses that have a good mixture of a million ads that you need to avoid and enough HP to tank, so it still takes a minute to kill. But it's kind of inconsistent, and it was just kind of rubbing me the wrong way. I wish like the bosses didn't get touched. There's not really any other significant changes in this mod regarding like weapons or balance or anything. It mostly keeps the game intact for kind of what we had, but it does crank up the speed and stress at the same time. Like, dude, the fishing hamlets in Razum on survival with this mod are terrifying. Those places are bad enough as it is, but with double enemy spawns, it's just nutty. Get 2 of those cannoneer rats just shooting you down. Overall though, the mod's pretty fun, and it was kind of refreshing to get back into Remnant with it. I only really play survival anyway, and it worked there, which I was not expecting, to be honest, so it's a fun take on the endless survival runs. Now there are mod teams that are working on more complicated mods right now, and that's pretty exciting. We'll probably be playing them in the future, and more Remnant again, as we're kind of waiting here for Monster Hunter Rise on PC and Battlefield 2042, assuming that's going to be good. But glad to see some life come back into Remnant. Modding is always a great way to bring me back to a game, so this is pretty fun. But yeah, that's basically all for me. Thank you all for watching, and good luck out there, hunters.